Hi everybody and welcome back to Let's Play Persona 5. In the last part, we went back into the first dungeon, and Ryuji awakened to his persona, and we also found out that basically there's a bunch of that. In the other world, it seems that the volleyball team that Kamoshida coaches is getting abused in real life. So the plan now is that we've got to go find all these guys and basically get them to get them to kind of talk about Kamoshida and talk about what he's done, basically. So in the last, and so that's what we're going to be doing in this part. Sure, why not? I'm accustomed to it. Okay.
Your rehabilitation determines if ruin can be stopped. Yet such a feat cannot be done by you alone.
Hence why you're going to need a bunch of partners in order to help you in order to avoid your ruin.
Putting yourself with others is an important foundation for your recovery. You've done well.
Okay,
That said,
fair enough.
I am not advising the formation of superficial relationships.
Oh, but that's so much easier than the proper full-strength relationships. So much easier. Something else I should mention as well. The text messaging that we got from Ryuji earlier was basically him saying that he's got the same navigation app as appeared on his phone that was on our phone. So it's letting us... it's basically letting you know that once they have their persona, they are going to be given the app as well. And I think it's pretty much confirmed that it's confirmed at some point in the story that it's Igor here who gives your friends the navigation app. Right. So there we go. This is pretty much introduced here. For some reason they changed the name. In Persona 4 it was Social Links. Now it's Confidants. I don't know why they decided to change it to Confidants, but essentially it's just Social Links. It's talking to people and getting their stories in order to strengthen your relationships with them, basically. And we've now got his Arcana. We now got the first started Igor's social link, or his confidant. The confidant, basically, his goes along with the story, so you don't have to go out your way to improve Igor's social link. It will just go up to max as you go through the story. But yeah, the confidants thing is very important for you get like bonuses for them. Igor's bonuses relate to Persona Fusion, so the first one is that we get bonus experience points for when we fuse personas. So we'll get actually get experience points to level up our character because of what happens. Sorry, I'm blathering. Basically, you get bonus XP for when you go and fuse personas. It's useful to fuse personas to get more powerful personas, basically. Although it's something I didn't really do in my first playthrough. At least not a lot. I just stuck with a lot of the personas I already had. And we've now got a we now have a animated cutscene which shows that there's some important shit is going down. But anyway, I did find this particularly dark, though. That it's not dark, but kind of off kilter. That they're kind of okay with a bunch of teachers destroying the students in volleyball. It's kind of really weird.
Pretty boring, right?
And this is a little nod as well, before it's confirmed later on that Ryuji and An had a previous relationship. They knew each other. They know each other. But we don't know how. I love that shot. It's so well animated. Right in the face. And that's Mishima, who will be. But I like how they animate it here, because it kind of shows that Kamoshida, like, his face initially is like, for fuck's sake. His face kind of shows him off as like being, oh, for fuck's sake, what a pussy. And then, you know, pretends to be like all like kind of apologetic and trying to be nice. But yeah, now we get to the actual point here where we're going to have to talk to all these people and basically get there and see if we can get any of them to talk about what Kamoshida is doing in the volleyball practices. So we're going to be splitting up at this point. Oh no, we don't. First of all, we go off to find one bloke who is, I think, in our class. And this is the this is really useful, the quick travel. So click the R1 button, and then you can go to any of the places that you've previously visited. So we just go to classroom, and boom, we're here. It's really useful for revisiting areas that you've already been to. So if you know where you need to go, you can just hit the R1 button and just immediately go to that place. Sorry, it's just much easier. And so you just have to keep asking. So yeah, let's try. This is, I guess, just basically.
Damn it.
Sorry. My throat's going to shit. It's just more of a thing of talking to. It's just basically showing that Kamoshida's kind of scaring these guys, threatening behavior basically to keep them silent, which isn't. Let's split up, gang. So yeah, you're basically told where you need to go. And yeah, so we need to go to the first floor and talk to a guy who's outside of class 3C, I think. They're usually pretty easy to spot though as well, because they all have, like, as you saw before, they all have like exclamation points above their heads. Oh yeah, you can, and Anne and Shiho are talking here, so you can listen in if you want. By the way, our stealth skills are through the roof because they never notice us. This is a kind of a nice little thing here to show off, showing that Shiho is kind of like worried about us, which is it kind of, I think it's a good way of when something happens later on, which will happen, I think, a couple of parts from now. It kind of makes that event all the more kind of, shocking, and it makes you care more, I think, if you happen to see this kind of event, if you're listening to them here, so it kind of affects it more. And as you can probably tell, basically they're not gonna tell me fucking anything because they all think I'm a hard ass. They all think I'm a nut job who's gonna stab people, so yeah, we don't. They're not talking to us. So now we're going up to the 3rd floor. I think this is the last one, if I remember. Yeah, and it's pretty much telling you there to go to the... What was I thinking of? Oh, here he is. Basically, that was a little bit of a tutorial as well to basically say that you could talk... you can check your messages. Yeah, but it's pretty much confirming that everybody... it's pretty much a confirmation that something's happening.
I can't do it.
That something's happening with the volleyball students and Kamoshida, but it's not really... what's the word I'm talking about? But it's not really... what am I trying to say? Basically, it kind of confirms that something is going on, but they're just too scared to kind of confirm and talk about it. So let's head back to the courtyard to discuss what we're going to do next with Ryuji. Oh, why are you talking to me? What's up?
It'll be quick. Anyway, what's with you? Like how you were late the other day was a lie and all? There's that weird rumor.
No, I was
about
definitely
you
late.
too.
That wasn't a lie.
What do you want with him?
Right back at you. You're not even in our class.
We just happened to get to know each other.
What do you play
That's not
for
technically a
games,
lie.
Kamoshida?
Huh? I see. I getcha. You're all buddy-buddy with Kamoshida after all.
This has nothing to do with you, Sakamoto.
If you found out what he's been doing behind your back, you'd dump him right away.
Behind my back? What's that supposed to mean?
You wouldn't get it.
Anyway, people are already talking about you two. I don't know what you're trying to pull, but no one's gonna help you.
Yeah, the whole thing of the whole school talking behind our back is kind of
Why she gotta be so
sorry, that is brought up a little bit later on when we do actually find out who's been talking about it. You know what I meant?
Anyways,
And now it's confirmed that,
talk about.
and like I said, you know, Ryuji confirms that they used to know each other in middle school.
Name turn up?
They used to know each other in middle school. I like that emphysema.
Special coaching, huh?
Yes, the special coaching.
True. I always see the guy covered in bruises. Let's go talk to him before he leaves then.
We should do that. It's time to talk to Mishima and find out what's going on.
Hey, got a second? Sakamoto? And you too. Come on, we just want to chat.
Yeah, he seems very wary about us for some reason.
You, huh?
That is a
Just physical
little nudge, I think, towards what is actually going on here.
Not. What are you talking all polite for? Anyways, we saw him spike you today, right in the face.
Yeah, it must have fucking hurt, dude.
That was just because I'm not good at the sport. Still, that doesn't explain all the other bruises you've got.
Yeah, there's plenty of bruises there,
They're
bud.
from practice. Is he forcing you to keep quiet? That's
What's going on?
100% true.
Shima,
You can
is that
tell.
time for practice?
I'm not feeling well today.
What?
Yeah, I'm suffering from being hit in the face by a volleyball.
You're never going to improve that crappy form unless you show up to practice.
He's been a bit of a jackass here.
Here,
His real self is kind of showing through a little bit here.
You're coming to practice or not?
His kind of inner jackass is showing. Oh,
As for you, any more trouble and you'll be gone from this school for sure.
bastard.
Same goes for you. Didn't the principal tell you to keep in line?
what do I say? You have an amazing spike.
Just don't get in the way of my practice. All these unsettling rumors are making the students anxious after all.
That's your own goddamn fault.
This won't get
which is
Let's go.
kind of true, but we'll find out a bit more about that later on.
Place where
So
those with aspirations
we'll see what happens there.
Unworthy students like yourselves don't have any right to be here. Get with the program.
Yes, sir.
That face, such a scary look.
That asshole. He's gonna pay for this. There's no point. Huh?
Yeah, this is kind of like,
Physically abusing us is meaningless. Everybody knows.
yeah. So this is kind of the point where Mishima actually says it outright that he does kind of confirm it here that it is going on, but also
Don't be a pain.
kind of saying that it doesn't really matter because he's kind of like,
Nothing's going to help.
he's kind of the big,
Damn it.
that he's such a big deal and so important to the school that people are just kind of ignoring it.
I'll try one more time to persuade the other guys. That's all I can do.
God damn it. Can't do anything about it. So yeah, that's the end of that day. Time to go to bed. Okay. It's also kind of the rule, the thing that the kind of the overarching theme that Persona 5 is trying to drill into the player early on is that this concept, the idea that adults are kind of jackasses and that kind of thing. It's a bit heavy-handed, I guess, but it does get the point across that, you know, of going against adults and kind of how adults are jackasses, which slowly changes and morphs over the course of the story. Thursday, the 14th of April. God, I love this music so much. I'm going to say that a lot during the course of this game, but fucking hell. I just love this song so much. It's so good. The whole, the music in the whole game is fucking amazing. Best soundtrack. Is it? Well, I'm kind of torn, actually. Huh? So yeah, here's Ryuji getting the bright idea to maybe talk to Ann about it and see if we can get anything out of her. Because she's best friends with Suzui, who is a starter on the volleyball team. And because, you know, there are rumors going around that she is dating Kamoshida as well. But it's not the most clever, not the best suggestion from her.
Uh-huh. That bruise above your eye. Is that from practice too?
Yeah.
It's kind of interestingly played here by the here because it's clear that both kind of have an idea of what's going on with each other's stuff, you know, but neither wants to kind of confirm it to the other or confront the other one about what's
Are you sure you're okay?
actually going on. It's kind of an interesting way to do it. It's actually really well acted. I like it a lot.
Yes. Today won't work. I'm not feeling so good. Sorry. Bye.
Yeah, and that's pretty much the and that's kind of something which is going to be pointed out, which is going to be talked about in a little bit, in the next part, I think, pretty much. This dialogue is fucking awful. I mean, it is very high school, I suppose, but it just feels so fucking out of place. Oh, they just popped in. Yeah, and this is this is another moment where this is building up to something which is going to happen in a little while, in a couple of parts' time. So yeah, it's pretty much another way of making you kind of feel sorry and for Shiho and care about what Shiho's kind of going through. You know, it's just it's another way of making you care about her, so that what happens later on is just because of what and then, you know, with what happens later on, it kind of makes you feel even worse and that kind of thing.
Then
Yeah, the fact that she, you know, she's kind of bothered by what's going on with us and the rumours that are being spread about us is really another way to make it interesting, I guess, to kind of really push that idea.
All of them kept saying the same shit Mishima was talking about. Kamoshida had to have told him something. At this rate, looks like we'll have to go to him directly.
There's no point. I don't think that'll work, Ryuji.
But seriously, isn't there something we can do? No way I'm gonna give in like this. Can you think of anything?
We could call the cops. How about a sneak attack?
That'd be fine if we could do it without getting caught, but if we did, we'd be seriously done for. You got any other ideas?
So yeah, you pretty much have to pick pick both.
So you want to tell them about the castle? They'd never believe us.
It's basically two really bad options. It's kind of, I guess it's to emphasize that we don't have any options, really.
You mean that other world's Kamoshida? I didn't think of that, but is there any meaning to...
I finally found you.
Oh, can you tell who that voice is?
You say something?
Don't think you can get away with not paying me back for helping you.
So yeah, this is Morgana. She's actually a cat. A talking cat.
Dare you up and leaving me the other day?
The cat's talking?
Kind of confirms as well that she can leave the other world whenever she wants, which is actually something that similar to what happens with Teddy in Persona 4, but in Persona. But it happened in Persona. That's so dumb by Ryuji there. But anyway, but in Persona 5, it's done a hell of a lot sooner. I think it's done like... In Persona 4, I think it's like a third of the way into the game, and here it's like in the first little section. Meow?
This is no time to be joking around.
I like that response. It's really funny. I just love it when you like use smart ass to Ryuji. He's actually a pretty funny character.
Tell you a thing or two about what to do about Kamoshida. You were pretty close just a moment ago.
Ooh, where are we now?
Send an attitude. This thing's gotta be Morgana.
You were still doubting me?
Something else which I kind of like whenever Morgana talks is that a meow comes up above her head. It's kind of to show off that everyone else around you hears just Morgana.
Does that mean only us two understand what you're saying?
Yeah, like saying here, you only hear Morgana just as a... The rest of the world hears Morgana just as a cat, just meowing and stuff, whereas you actually hear what she's saying.
You're quite the skeptic for being an idiot.
Hey, tell us more. Then again,
I always loved Morgana's and Ryuji's
here,
bickering.
put it in your bag for now. Should be just
That was
small
so
enough to fit.
brutal.
Hey, how dare you treat me like...
Time to get you the fuck out of here.
Don't be so rough with me.
Enough of that. You said you know how we can do something about Kamoshida, right?
It has to do with what this guy was talking about earlier.
So yeah, here we go. This is pretty much the confirmation. This is the start of
That castle is how
what we're
Kamoshida
going to have
used
to do,
I
basically.
didn't realize what happened
Um,
there, but It's deeply connected to the
as it is in this is going to set up what has to happen for the rest of the dungeons going forward.
What had happened?
A palace is a manifestation of a person's distorted desires. So, if that castle were no more,
His desires would go as well. Pretty easy.
precisely. You sure pick up things fast.
For real? He's gonna turn good? But is that really getting back at him?
Erasing a palace essentially means forcing the owner to have a change of heart. However,
Which is the main confirmation for the whole game. Getting these people who have got
unable to bear the weight of those crimes.
bad intentions, bad desires, to kind of have a change of heart and to change them
And since the
into
palace
good
will no
people,
longer exist,
basically.
he'll forget what we did there as well. Not only will we be able to bring Kamoshida down, but there won't even be a trace of our involvement.
Seems too good to be true. What's the catch?
Amazing! You are one incredible cat!
True. Except for the cat part.
So, how do we
I
get
love
rid of the
that.
palace?
So Elian.
Stealing the treasure held within.
Stealing?
I'll tell you more once you agree to go ahead with this. It's my most valuable secret plan after all. If you
Sorry.
want to help me out, I'll gladly teach you. What's your call?
So yeah, basically, we have to go back into Kamoshida's dungeon, into his castle. We have to take the treasure at the center of the castle and get it out of there, and that will destroy the castle.
If we erase a palace, there is no doubt that the person's distorted desires will be erased as well. But
Here's the
desires are
downside.
what we all need in order to survive. The will to sleep, eat, fall in love. Those sorts of things.
What are you getting at?
We could kill him.
If all of those yearnings were to vanish, they'd be no different than someone who is shut down entirely. They may even die if they're not given
So,
proper
yeah.
care. So,
They might die.
This element of the story is actually something that I really like that they did. Because here they're pretty much like... Because at this point it's pretty much like...
signs of risks.
Hey, what do you think?
He's done something... Because obviously Kamoshida is doing something really awful and bad. And, you know, something really terrible.
All this way and this
But
is
it's
what-
also the thing of...
Not like anyone will ever find
If
out.
there's the possibility that he might die, there's from us destroying his castle,
We'd be no better than that effing Kamoshida.
then
Isn't this your only
Sorry.
option? I'll come back later. Make sure you've made your decision.
so yes, it's kind of well done in the fact
We're
that
getting all worked up for nothing. Damn it.
you know, the fact that
Out another way.
if
on.
if he could die from us destroying his castle, then obviously it's more of a thing of we can't really do that, and it's then up to the story to kind of then push you in that direction to be like, even if there is a chance of him going to die, we have to stop. We can't just let this happen, you know what I mean? It's like the story has to then force you into making that decision, and the story does that, but I will talk about it more when we get to that. I really should have cut here. I did. Oh fuck, I didn't cut. Maybe I should have cut more. Yeah, so now we're gonna head back to the station.
Get a rest? I told you I'm not feeling up to it. Wait, what? That's not what you promised. And you call yourself a teacher? This has nothing to do with Shiho.
So yeah, now we're gonna now with this part we're gonna find out a lot more about Ann
Position.
and find out more what's going on between Ann and Kamoshida, as well as
Wait,
what's happening with Shiho as well.
haven't you heard of privacy?
I wasn't doing it intentionally. Honest. I wasn't eavesdropping. No way.
So, how much did you hear?
I heard everything.
Shiho. Nothing at all. Nothing.
Yeah, it really sounds like nothing. So yeah, that's it for this part of Persona 5. Join me next time for the next part of Persona 5 when we'll be going after Ann and we'll be finding out more about what's happening between her, Kamoshida and Shiho. So join me next time for the next part of Persona 5 when we're continuing our investigation into Kamoshida and we'll be finding out what's been going on. What's there? My face. We'll find out what's been going on with Ann. So see you next time.